So it's time for one of those cheap videos that we do every now and again, and this is a collection video. Yes, we say cheap videos because they're simple, easy to do, and don't take a lot of time and thought to go into them. Although depending on how you do them is, you know, how you want to talk about stuff that you show off is one of those things. Anyway, yeah, very confusing thing, but this is the Retro Bear in the Gaming Pantry, welcoming you to a collection video for the PlayStation 3, you'll know because you've seen the thumbnail. And therefore you did click on the video with the intention of seeing something rather professional and very well done. So apologies for that. But yes, yeah. So PlayStation 3, done this before, but it was a few years back. So I every now and again I redo them. I'm not sure how much different this will be from the previous one I did, but I can't remember years ago it was now. We'll go through it. So what's a PlayStation 3 mean to me? This is my PlayStation 3, which is one of these newfangled slimmer, I say slimmer, weighs a ton. I don't know about the original Xbox being heavy, but this is it. This isn't actually my original PlayStation 3, actually. This is the one that we replaced my original with. Being the fact that the old one, which was the fat model with the silver, you know, much nicer glossy black cover to it. You'll know the ones like not the one that was backwards compatible with PlayStation 2, but the one that sat between that. This is the one that we had to get when that one eventually had what was the equivalent of the red ring of death or the yellow ring of death, which PlayStation now. Did get repaired a couple of times, but sadly gone. So yeah, it's a very generic black box, isn't it? It's not very exciting. The other one had a bit of character about it. This one just looks like a box, which it is really. That's what they all are, boxes of some variety. I mean, I love the PlayStation 3. I mean, if we were to put the PlayStation 3 in the PlayStation family, having had 4 of them, definitely number 2, I would say, without a shadow of a doubt. We got so much use out of it. When we were deciding whether to have an Xbox 360 or a PlayStation 3, I was very much in the Xbox 360 market, simply because of the back catalogue at the time. There's a huge range of games. We've been out for a bit longer than the PlayStation 3. And Mrs. Bear was like, well, you know, PlayStation 3, we can, you know, it's got Blu-ray built into it. That's the next step up from DVD. It's actually built into it. It's a free Blu-ray player in there as well. And it also had the capacity to do 3D. So any games that were earmarked on 3D, there may be a couple in this little pile here. We'll go through that, and also playing 3D Blu-rays, which is very important to us because we have loads of them. So it was that benefit there, but also the fact as well we could actually run sort of home networking through it as well. So it was always going to be the one that tailored our needs most of all, and that's what it was. Yes, it was more expensive. Yes, you didn't get as much with it. Yes, the size of the game library at the time wasn't great. When did we get on it? I can't remember now when we got one. 2007 maybe? 2006, something like that. Honestly, I can't remember the exact date. It wasn't launch anyway, we never do launch, but it was certainly a time after that. We got, I think we paid about 315 quid for it. Yeah, but don't regret it at all. It was one of the best machines we ever had. And it's enjoying very much a renaissance now, a bit of a, you know, people are classing it as retro. That's another conversation to have, isn't it? Is the PlayStation 3 retro now? But a lot of people have targeted it. You know, Retro Ghetto did his PlayStation 3 Essentials collection to get all those, and that sort of pushed all those up, and the prices are going slowly up again. Some of this stuff may not be in that bracket at all. You know, most of this stuff won't be in that bracket at all. There might be the odd one in here that goes through it anyway. So we've got quite a few to get through. Going to split it into 2 parts, so this will focus probably half of it, and then the video the other half, won't it? Makes sense. Rather than do 75 here and 10 in the other video. But I think we're probably going to go, yes, we'll start at the beginning and we'll work our way through, and we'll see how we get on. So I'll try and bring any background information if I can to what we've got in front of me here. I can tell you anything about it. So first up, we'll start with 007, Quantum of Solace, which is a game which crops up so many times in my collection. It's not a bad little game. I didn't get much love at the time, but it's dirt cheap to pick up. Well, I think it used to be dirt cheap. I don't know what the prices are now. But yeah, I don't think it's a bad game. It's not bad. It certainly didn't win any awards when it came out, but I played the Wii version. I played the 360 version of which there is some gameplay on my channel. And I think it's quite serviceable. It's not bad at all. Definitely worth tracking down if you like, like something which is simple and straightforward, a bit basic. Now this one here, I've got no cover for it. I just trying to remember how I got hold of it. So you won't know what that is from there. But if I opened it up, you'll be able to see. And this is Aliens Colonial Marines. Which, yeah, also came with the... it says limited edition content. I don't know whether that's a pickle because I would have bought this second hand. I'm desperately trying to remember how I've got hold of the manual, the disc, and the instructions without actually having the box. I don't know, but yeah, I don't think it's got a particularly good reputation. I must admit, never played that one. It doesn't really interest me, but yeah. So I don't really know. I don't know much about that one. Sorry, I can't help you with that. Where's that gone? I thought that was there. Yeah, anyway, I don't think it's something else now, which might be different. Then next up we got from Sega, we got Aliens versus Predator. Again, complete with the old manual. You'd have thought these games would come complete with manual nowadays, wouldn't you? But this was sort of like the ultimate wet dream for science fiction fans. Aliens versus Predator. Wasn't there an arcade game about that years and years ago? Wasn't there a Jaguar game as well, wasn't there, I think, going back to my day? I'm not particularly big admirers of either of those franchises. I like the first Predator film, Alien films. Yeah, they're okay. They're okay. I don't do it. We're now entering the Assassin's Creed zone. So, Assassin's Creed 1, which when you first saw the demo for it, no manual. I got no manual for Assassin's Creed. Good grief. When I first saw the footage for this game when it first came out, I was like, wow, that's fantastic, isn't it? And then I tried playing it, and I just couldn't get on with it. We've got Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. They said it came with exclusive extra bits, possibly. There's some bump in there, but I don't think there's no manual with that one. Yeah, no manual with that either. 0 for 2 on the manuals on Assassin's Creed. But I mean, these are so cheap to pick up, and you're thinking, wow, I should just grab hold of these when I'm walking around. Assassin's Creed 2, I do like the cover on that one. Those sort of cross marks there, you can see are sort of done. It looks as if they've scratched the cover, but it's done very well actually. That one does have a manual. Hurrah! Very much takes on a life of its own, doesn't it? This particular series. I don't know what it is about them. I can't get on. I've seen the film as well. Couldn't get on with that either. This is Assassin's Creed 3, and again, this is probably this is meant to be the special editions with the bits and pieces in them as well. Manual with that one, thank goodness. That's an 18. That one. That was the first one to get an 18 certificate. This one that set in the American Revolution. Yeah, it could be, yeah. It's got the American flag in the background there, but yeah. I know some people love this series. I don't know. I'd like to like it, but I just really don't get on with it. This is Black Flag, Assassin's Creed 4. You're probably sitting thinking, well, if you can't get them, why have you got them? I think the idea was, well, the problem was, I bought them all because I can get them dirt cheap, and then I tried to play the first one and I couldn't get on with it. I thought, well, I've now got 6 Assassin's Creed games. Why have I got so many? And I don't like them. And this one's the Revelations, which has also got the original game included. So is that 7 Assassin's Creed games I've got now? I don't know. I'm not sure it's meant to be in this original black box, but it's very nice. I do like the black box. But yeah. Now, stealth games, never been a favourite of mine. Even Metal Gear Solid when I played the PlayStation, even though I enjoyed it, I don't know, I just can't get on with them. Just can't get on with them. This is the sort of stuff like this is the sort of game I'm going to quite enjoy showing off and talking about. And this is Back to the Future, the game, which was Telltale, I think, Telltale Studios. possibly Telltale Games or something like that. I can't remember. People know these things better than I do. But yeah, it's sort of recreation of Back to the Future. And this one does have the manual with it. Hooray! This is the game I'm after on the Wii, and the price kept fluctuating between sort of £6 and £15, and every time I went to buy it, it was £15. And every time I forgot to buy it, it was £6. But yes, so you can see it's done. It was originally released in episodes, so it's all 5 episodes of the game with all the behind-the-scenes videos, art galleries, and bits and pieces to go. If you like Back to the Future, that's definitely going to be one you've got to have in your collection. And I dare say one which is going to get increasingly hard to track down, especially I think it was online originally. Then that was the release, so you got a physical copy of the game. This is the day and age we live in now, with physical games and non-physical games. Band Hero, because I do have a PlayStation 3 guitar, and this is my sort of game. And this is not one for the serious sort of Guitar Hero band, rock band games, where some of the songs you really have to know your stuff. This is much more generic. So you've got things like you've got Duran Duran, you've got the Jackson 5, the Rolling Stones, Taylor Swift, the Village People. So it's a real mixture of, not say contemporary, generic music. Something for everybody. But in a way, I find that more fun to play than some of the more seriously focused, band-centric or era-centric. For example, the Guitar Hero Warriors of Rock game. I just don't like that game because it's just too obscure for me. Guitar Hero Van Halen doesn't appeal to me in the slightest. That does. I don't know why, but it just does. We're now into the Batman zone. We have Batman Arkham Asylum, which is full of bump. And again, I can't remember how much. I mean, some of these games did, for those of you who can't remember, years and years and years and years and years ago, I was into cash converters, and they were basically getting rid of a load of old stock. And they had a load of PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 games they were trying to chuck out at 10 pence each. It was very much a case of filling your boots. It was over a bank holiday weekend, if I remember, and I went in on the Saturday and I went back on the Monday to close stuff and then clean the rest out on the Monday that I needed. Batman Arkham City doesn't have the manual, sadly, but this is the... You can see there it's got a cash converter sticker on the back, which I've never managed to successfully remove. Just say £3. I didn't pay £3 for it. I paid a lot less than that. I think probably this was a 10p one, or maybe even a 30p or a 50p or something like that. But they just couldn't get rid of them. I was more than happy to take them home and use them. And then we got Arkham Origins as well. And I think this is the one that they put the wrong disc in, and I had to go back and I got the wrong disc in this one. I had to go back the following Monday, and they'd still got it. Yeah, but so the Batman Arkham games in there. Nice to have those. I've barely scratched the surface on some of these games, particularly those. It's a big sprawling game. I don't have big sprawling time to play on it. Here's a game from Mrs. Bear's past. Battlefield Bad Company. This is when she was going through a first-person shooter phase, and she spent many an hour playing this one. This is quite a fun game, actually. I watched a lot of this. I don't say I played any of it, but I watched a lot of her playing it, and it was really good. She really enjoyed that. We never played any Battlefield games before that. That was quite strange. So when you got the Battlefield Bad Company 2, which he did have at the time. That one has got the manual as well. But yeah, I mean, some of these games are so cheap to pick up now. And then Battlefield 3, which is the limited edition one. I don't think she ever actually played that one properly. I think she played the first two in great detail and then didn't. And then there's advertisements in there for Medal of Honor. Well, it says Medal of Honor, but it's actually the Battlefield Pass. No actual manual with that one either, funny enough. There we go. So Battlefield 3. What's a Battlefield game is there? Right, now what we got now? This is actually a replacement for a game. I bought this game ages ago. And I thought, you know what, the one time I actually sat there, I thought, you know what, I'm going to sit down and play this. I went to play and it didn't work. I checked the disc, there was rot on the disc. Can you believe it? It was the actual first time I've ever seen disc rot in my collection. And it did scare the life out of me because I think we did a video on it. It's going back a couple of 3 years now. We were talking about, you know, well, I think it was my good friend Gernaldino Plays was going through his Xbox 360 disc to see if they all worked properly, and found out that some of them didn't, and some of them actually did have disc rot and whatever. I think it was anyway. So it was mad panic, and lo and behold, my copy of this game actually had disc rot, and I couldn't believe it. So I then, the following day, happened to be in one of our local independent shops and walked across the steelbook version of it. I thought, well, I'll have that then, it'll just replace the other one. So I got rid of the other one. So we actually had the steelbook with the slipcase. This is Beyond Two Souls, which has William Dafoe and Ellen Page, or as they are known now, Ethan Page. And this is a special edition. But it's a nice little steelbook, you know. I don't go for, I mean, some people collect these like crazy. I'm not so much of a big fan of the steelbooks. They're nice. I think when I first started collecting 360, that was my intention, to buy all the steelbooks and to buy, you know, that I'm not going to go for a 360 and buy loads of games, which sort of went out the window about a week later. But this, again, I want to try it, so I now have to try this game again. But I've had this back 15, 18 months and never actually sat down and played it. This is not a very good game. This is Bionic Commando. Now I remember the original, which was a sort of a side-scroller platform shoot 'em up thing, and obviously in this day and age that looks very old hat and not appealing to everybody. So what they do, they get rid of it and they recreate it and do like a 3D big graphical remake, which is just not anywhere near as captivating as the original. I don't know what it is. You know, they're trying to reinvent the wheel or something. The wheel was invented with Bionic Commando. It was a fairly fine game. I don't think it was a particularly amazing game. There were some couple of good home conversions of it, but it wasn't, you know, it's not going to make a top 100 arcade games of all time. But it was very well remembered by those who played it and those who experienced it. And then you just do something like that, and it's like, no, it's not the same. It's not the same. It didn't really add anything to it, and it makes you wonder why you bothered in the first place. Why bother doing something like that? Here's another game which Bear put some time into, which is BioShock. I think it was the first one she played. I don't think she played the second one. I can't remember. She definitely played the first one, which I don't have here. I've only got the second one for some reason. This was quite nice, quite a thick manual. Not really my sort of game. It's sort of survival horror, isn't it, I think. But they're very well, I, again, bought these all those years ago with the intention of actually sitting down one day and playing them properly. And having the time to play them. So I'm sorry if I'm coming across here, I'm just sorting my power settings on my computer at the same time. So I'm sorry if some of this is like, yeah, oh, you're not telling us about the game. Well, yeah, I can tell you about what I've played. I can't tell you about a lot of them. Like I said, you know, that's how I collected. People know that I just went out and bought stuff because it was cheap, and I could do. That's why I ended up in a situation like this, too much cheap stuff. Another 007 game, this is Bloodstone. You may wonder why this is actually sitting down under B for Bloodstone and not 0 for 007. And that's because the spine says Bloodstone 007 and the spine for Quantum of Solace says 007 Quantum of Solace. That's another video in itself, isn't it? This was an original game, so years ago on the GameCube and the PlayStation 2 and the Xbox, they did a series of original games with Pierce Brosnan, who was still 007 at the time. Nightfire, Everything or Nothing, and the one I can never remember, Nightfire. Agents Under Fire, Everything or Nothing, Nightfire. The three games I can never remember. Remember two, but remember three. And they were all actually pretty good original games. So they decided that they'll do an original title with Daniel Craig as James Bond. And again, I don't think it got fantastic reviews at the time, but something I never actually played. I say I haven't actually played. I did actually load it and start it, but never actually got very far with it. So definitely another one there. And I'm no fan of James. That's one of the most cliche. I'm not a big fan. I'm not the biggest fan. What do you say? I'd never really liked James Bond, but that sort of thing interests me because it's not based around it. I don't know. Now, this was sent to me by Daily Retro. Good old Dale. Hope you're well, Dale, if you're watching. I know you don't do YouTube anymore. I think you've moved on from the wacky world of YouTube, but we do miss you, and I hope you're doing well. He did send me a copy of Blur on the PlayStation 3, which I think people describe as like Mario Kart. Mario Kart for the PlayStation 3. It was a game I talked about. I was never actually find a copy of it at the price I wanted, and he very kindly sent me it. I think it was Dale anyway. He did like his racing games, did Dale, and yeah. So again, another one I really should sit down and play because it's a racing game. And I do like racing games, but yeah, very very well respected game. That quite a few people talk very highly of it. What have we got here? Right, we're into the Borderlands zone now. So we have Borderlands 2. Can't tell you anything about it other than the fact that it's called Borderlands 2. And it is an exceedingly popular franchise. I don't know, yeah. And just in case I get fed up with that one, it's Borderlands the pre-sequel. I haven't got Borderlands, the original game. I think I've got it on the 360. But yeah, I don't know. Again, I don't think it's my sort of game, but because it was, cheap, and everyone talks about it, I'll pick that up. A little cheap game I got here, Brink. I mean, this is like a 50p game all day long. Does this still work? I hear you ask. Is this something that needs servers? Because obviously, as we are going along through time, servers have rapidly been turned off, and what you're basically paying money for here is useless plastic. I don't know. Am I thinking of? It's got an orange cover. It'll probably turn up in part 2. I'm sure it begins with R. Anyway, does that still work? Probably. I don't know. I may even ask that question 3 years ago when I did this video last. This one I've got because it's got a nice cover on the 360, but it's not quite as nice on the PlayStation 3. And that's Bulletstorm. Kill with Skill, an intense, outrageous shooter. So again, it's another one of these games that I'm just going to be no good at. Oh man. So you get Mrs. Bear to play some of these and review them because she's likely far better at it than I am than I ever would have been. Now, this is something I played a bit of, and this is Burnout Paradise, and this is the ultimate box. Burnout was a game I played first on the GameCube all those years ago. There we go. I'm just trying to remember if somebody actually gave me this. I'm pretty sure Martin, the Geek Master, sent me this. Or did I send him a copy of it? I can't remember. But yeah, I love the Burnout game. This is more of an open world one. But I mean, the idea in Burnout was just basically go around and cause as much damage and havoc as you possibly could, which is why it appealed to me greatly. I do like games like that. Yeah, Call of Duty stuff. Now we got Black Ops, which I used to. There's a video years ago on YouTube which used to trail the game or take great chunks of the game out and set it to the Rolling Stones' "Gimme Shelter." It was a fabulous put together video. I could watch that video back to back all day long. It would never tire. But again, Black Ops. Now I remember Mrs. Bear was quite into the Call of Duty series, of which we'll talk about more when we get to him in a second. But she never played Black Ops. She played Modern Warfare. She played World at War, and I think Black Ops she wasn't really interested in, so she never got playing those games. I've tried Black Ops on the Wii U. Yeah, I'm no good at it. We've got Call of Duty Ghosts. which doesn't have a manual. Or does it have a manual? It doesn't have a manual. Yeah, can't tell you anything about that. I think the problem is that I just got Call of Duty blindness. There's some too many Call of Duty games set in completely different eras. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3, excuse me, which I think Mrs. Bear played all the way through when she got it on the first day. It might have taken her a few days to get through it, but she pre-ordered it. Again, some of these games are really impressive to watch. If you actually just sit there watching, take it in the background, some of the cinematics and the scripting, you know, forgiven for watching a film in the background. This was the one that got her into it, Modern Warfare, Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. This is the one that really did sort of trigger something. And the story goes that I was actually lying in bed with flu. I'm very well. And I can't remember how we got a copy. Why did we have a copy of this? I can't remember. And I said, well, I'll just go online and play it, you know. Go and see how long you get online, go and do some, you know, death matches, or whatever they're called. So she started playing that online, and that became that, and then she started playing online all the time, and then she got herself into a clan, and then it was like basically every single first-person shooter game we could find that had online capabilities, because all those people were playing that game as well. And that was it. I've really got those 4 games funny for Call of Duty. I thought I had more than that. Then we got Call of Juarez, Bound of Blood. Well, Bound in Blood, sorry. Apologies. And I think I probably got this because I'd heard not great things about it, but hey, look, it's Westerns. You know, that's different. You know. It's not Call of Duty. It's like Westerns. You know, don't mess with the McCalls, the Old West 1864. Now that is probably my more sort of thing, really. So, yeah, we'll do that. Right, what we got next? We got Crisis 2. I swear I just bought a lot of these games on the basis that it's a name I recognise. Oh yeah, people always talk about Crisis 2. And because it sells so well, there's loads of copies around and they're so cheap. Be strong, be fast, be invisible, be the weapon. Yes. And then finally from this pile, and then what I'll do is a quick cut, and I'll take these back and get the next lot. And we'll do that one. And I have a copy here, just a loose disc of Deep Space. Not Deep Space, Dead Space. What am I talking about, Deep Space? It's a Sunday. I'm on a holiday, my brain switched off. Dead Space. Yeah, just a blank disc. I ain't even remember sure that's come from. Weird. Right. Quick cut, and I shall return in momentarily with the next lot. Right. Managed to not drop any of them on the way through, which is good. Oh, dear. Make that a bit more central. Right. Okay, welcome back. Let's carry on. We've got, I was thinking, how do you pronounce this game? Deus Ex Human Revolution. Have I got a Deus Ex game elsewhere? I think I have. I think I've actually played it. Oh, it's a free copy of Operation Flashpoint in there. That's a bonus, isn't it? I don't know what that's doing in there. Yeah. A game I didn't know I had. Well, maybe I do have it, I don't know. We'll see, won't we? Probably in part 2. Keep your eye out for that game. If I haven't got it when you want a loose disc, you're very welcome to it. Yeah, so this is the limited edition. Wasn't it always a limited edition? I don't know. I don't think I've ever played Deus Ex, so I couldn't really tell you anything about it. This one I have played, you'll be probably unsurprising to know. This is Doctor Who, The Eternity Clock. There is actually gameplay footage on this channel of me playing this game. It's a bit disappointing because it's very much a generic platform game, which I'm not sure. Well, I don't know, would it work for Doctor Who? You need an interactive adventure, maybe a bit more. It's got River Song in it. That's definitely a disadvantage. However, I got this for like 30 pence. It was dirt cheap, so I can't complain. Because I remember checking at the time, it was certainly a £10 game then. I'm pretty sure it was a bit more expensive now. So, yeah. I like Doctor Who, but I don't think Doctor Who's ever had a very good computer game ever. This is one that Mrs. Bear really got her teeth into years ago. I'm surprised they never made any more of the series. Enslaved, which has got Andy Serkis doing the motion capture animation on it. It really is. It's not my sort of game at all. But Claire absolutely loved this at the time. She played it for hours on end. I think, did she finish it? I'm not sure if she did or she didn't, but I'm really surprised there's never been another one in this series, because it was such a good game. It was really, really good. A lot of people loved it. Weird they never did another one, but that's how it is. This is one of mine. Everybody's Golf World Tour. I think it's one of the first ones we actually had when we bought the PlayStation 3 originally, or certainly one that was at the top of my list anyway. I mean, I love a golf game. I love golf. It's a winner for me. It's the first one in the series I actually played, and it's great. It really is. It's a perfect entertainment if you just want to sort of play golf without having to worry about too much about knowing much about golf and having to stand there and pretend to swing a club with your Wii remote. It's the perfect relaxing way to do it. That's why I love playing the original game, the original PGA games on the Mega Drive, etc. And it's so an easy play, and yeah, you don't get annoyed with them. Everyone sing, because I have an obsession with horse games, fishing games and singing games, even though I can't sing a lick. I do have sing-style microphones for PlayStation 3. So you've got sing to hit tracks from top artists such as On Vogue, The Saturdays, The Pussycat Dolls, All Saints, Salt and Pepper, Ellie Goulding, Boyzone, The Sugar Babes, Lionel Richie. Yes. See, these are the sort of videos you'd like to try and do, but you can't, because the copyright won't allow it to go on there. I thought that originally. I thought, oh, this would be great, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, you can't actually do that, can you? Because for some reason my out of key singing will trigger something on YouTube to give me a copyright strike. Yeah, if YouTube is sophisticated enough to pick up in the background at low volume the melody to a song from Aladdin the film where I'm playing on the Mega Drive doing some gameplay videos, then it's going to easily, come down on me like a ton of bricks and say, you can't do that. I'm singing along to, I don't know, Rizzle Kicks, whoever he is. So it's like, yeah. It's crazy the way it works anyway. That's another conversation for another time. Got the Formula 1 games, F1 2010. Do like the F1 games. No manual with this one, sadly. Well, yeah, this is quite good. Did do this one. This is actually some gameplay on the channel as well of F1 2011. And they're really good games. These Formula 1 things, I quite enjoy them. I think the latest one I bought was 15 for the PlayStation 4, which I never actually played. But when they first started doing the F1 series back on the PlayStation 1, it's the Psygnosis games, and then eventually morphing back into the ones that Codemasters do. I've enjoyed all of them. I'm not a fan of Formula 1 at all, but those games, I can quite enjoy. 20. If you see that video on my channel, I think it might be interspersed with other PlayStation 3 games I was playing, but just literally having one practice lap and then going straight into a game, you can actually see, as a 3-lap race, you can actually see during the 3 laps how I'm actually getting better as I go along. I've always said that about games. Whatever game you're playing, make no difference what sort of game it is. If you start something and start failing miserably to start with, but within half an hour, 40 minutes, you've actually progressed a little bit further, that's what games should be all about. You don't want to sit there and go straight into it and immediately do half a game in one sitting. You think, well, it's just... It's a bit. I like a game where you can just, not practice, but actually learning more about it gets you a little bit further each time, and that's what it is. That's what it is. This is Facebreaker, which is a boxing game, comedy boxing game, very much in the style of Ready to Rumble. I've got this on the Wii, I think. It's on the Wii as well, Facebreaker. Yes, it is up there. You can see it. Facebreaker, yeah. It's one of those cheat games I picked up really with absolutely no intention playing. This is like a long run. It was Black and Bruised, I think, was on the PlayStation 2 and the GameCube, which is not a very good game. And to be honest with you, they've got some quite concerning racial stereotypes. There's Ready to Rumble before that. There's this one. I don't like comedy boxing games. I was never a fan of Punch Out. I never saw the appeal of Punch Out. I got Punch Out for the Wii, and I'm just like, yeah, it's just... I prefer my boxing to be a bit more realistic. Which would have been great to go into a boxing game, wouldn't it, like that? But you'll have to wait a little bit. We've got Fallout New Vegas. Mrs. Bear is the Fallout expert in this house. She had Fallout 3, which she played forever. And then New Vegas came out and she did, okay, trade the copy into Fallout 3 and get New Vegas. And then she didn't like New Vegas at all. Now, she's played Fallout 4 since then and literally had to stop playing it because it was taking up too much of her time. And I admire that. She said, no, I've got to stop playing it, otherwise I'm just going to do that and do nothing else. But we never got a copy of Fallout 3 back, which is strange. But she didn't like that one at all. Not my thing. Not my thing, really. We got Far Cry 2. I have played a Far Cry game. I played Far Cry Instincts on the Wii, which actually is not a game. It's terrible. Even I'm good at that game. It's a shocker. And again, I just... I don't know. It's just something about it. I think, yeah, Far Cry 2, and I was like, and all the other Far Cry games. There seems to be a series that's sort of sprawling on that has absolutely zero interest to me. So we got Far Cry 3 as well, just to hammer that point home. Hey, look, they've got Assassin's Creed game coming out here. They might as well have some more Far Cry games. Yeah. See, this is what happens, folks, when a hobby gets slightly out of control. You really need to sort of rein things in a little bit. But you know, in the words of Krusty the Clown, paraphrasing Krusty the Clown, they're saying they drove a dump truck of money up to my house. They drove a dump truck of 50p games up to my drive. I couldn't help myself. That's how these things come about. This is another one out that 10p bucket. It says Farming Simulator 15. It's actually not 15. It's just the first one. It's a bit of a shame, really. But, and this is the sort of thing, you know, actually I'm more likely to sit down and probably have a play around with this and just see how I got on with it. Even though I have absolutely no interest in lines such as 125 vehicles and farming tools. Not just 125, but authentic 125 of them. 40 manufacturers, New Holland, Ponce, sounds a bit dubious, Case, IH and Dirt's Far. Yeah, all household names in somewhere else. But yes, I bought that with the intention of actually playing it. I thought, you know what, it's a 50p bargain clear out bucket thing. I haven't clocked the fact it's in the wrong box, but I'm sitting there thinking, why would I not buy that and just have a go at it? Or in my case, why don't I just not buy it and then leave it on the shelf? Some FIFAs for you, which I'll go through very quickly. FIFA 12. Do you need to say I've got bumped with FIFA 12? I'm not going to dwell on the sports games too much unless there's a reason to. 14. I've not played a FIFA game since 18, I think it was. Ronaldo on the front. 15. I haven't got the manual for that one. Oh yeah, I've got an interactive World Cup thing running. I've got a manual for that. Those are the only FIFA games I've got for the PlayStation 3. Did I have one before that? No, I was Pro Evolution before that. Speaking of boxing, there is a boxing game, and this is Fight Night Round 3. Which would follow nicely from Facebreaker, wouldn't it? These are the more serious, you know, I want my boxing games to be serious and proper. For some reason, I don't mind golf games being a bit cartoony and a bit silly. But if I'm going to play boxing, I'd much rather it be serious like that. I don't know why. Don't ask me why. Now here's a game we had originally had for. This is probably my original copy of this. When we bought the PlayStation, we've been trying to find some games to buy. Two others which are entombed within this collection, which I'll talk about when we get to them. And then there was this one, which is the original F1 Championship Edition game. Because we like racing games, we bought this one, and then Claire complained it was too much like Formula 1 and not too much like a racing game. Too much like Formula 1. In this case, it was actually a Sony game, wasn't it? Because I think they bought Psygnosis originally, so whether it was a team that worked, I'd probably not. I wouldn't have thought so. I mean, it's a Formula 1 game. Fine, as far as I'm concerned, but no. This is the game I was thinking of, which may or may no, it's not. A Fuse. I mentioned previously about a game which may be online only. I don't know. It's a nice cover. I like the cover. I may have asked this question previously. Is this a game which is still online? Probably. I don't know. But anyway, there it is. Nice cover. It's what you want. It's a nice cover. This one's a nice find as well for not very much money at all. And this is Ghostbusters, a video game, which I've also got on the Wii. There we go. So this is what people used to say was the third Ghostbusters, basically the third Ghostbusters film before they brought them back. I've never actually played it, so I can't tell you. It does say, now watch the film, buy the Blu-ray. I did actually buy the Blu-ray when it came out. As soon as Ghostbusters came out on Blu-ray, I would have bought it the same day it came out. I don't know why. I said Ghostbusters is fine as a film. I don't know if I was that keen on it. I think this is the only game I've got in this series in my collection anywhere. God of War. This is God of War Ascension. I've got to say, not my type of game, in which case there's no point in having them. But again, it's probably because it was going cheap, and I thought, well, I'd rather buy it cheap than not actually, spend money on something which I'm just going to sit in the shelf. Happens, doesn't it? Gran Turismo 5. This is the Academy Edition. I do like my racing games. Again, Gran Turismo is a game I've come to appreciate more over the years as time has gone on. I played 7 last year and really enjoyed playing around with that. So I don't actually mind these games. Now, when I first came out, I didn't like them at all. I thought, it's you can't drive into a brick wall and do that and whatever. So I wasn't very keen on them. But I much more get on with them a lot more better now than I used to. Sorry, this is Gran Turismo 5 Prologue. The manual. And that was what we were all waiting for to come out, Gran Turismo 5. As soon as PlayStation 3 came out, that was it. And then there's Gran Turismo 6, which I have put some time into, but I think there is an issue with my disc. And I've had a look at it, and I must be honest, I can't see anything on my disc which would give it a reason for it not to work. But it sort of gets into the game, and then for some reason it stops, and I have no reason why for this game to not work. So you can get so far, you get a little bit into it, and then it just stops working for some reason. I can't see why. There's no issue, there's no fault on the disc, there's no marks, there's no rot, there's no nothing. So it does annoy me. Got the Gran Turismo games for you now. Not Gran Turismo, you've seen Gran Turismo. Grand Theft Auto games, I should say, for you. So we've got Grand Theft Auto episodes from Liberty City, which has the 2 episodes, Lost and the Damned and the Ballad of Gay Tony. We also have the map. Very important. If you have your Gran Turismo games, have the maps. I've actually had a couple of copies of this. I think this is my 2nd or 3rd copy of it, because I kept buying it, think I hadn't got it. But anyway, I have got it, it's there. And another Gran Theft Auto game I've got is Grand Theft Auto 5 in the Steelbook, which was a gift from somebody on the tubes previously, again with the manual. I say previously, I think they're still on the tubes. It's not the best copy in the world, but it's a Steelbook, which is nice. Missing the slipcase, of course, but not overly bothered about things like that. There we go. The GTA extra episodes and GTA 5. Got a lot of GTA games, I'm going to be honest. If you saw my recent video about the channel update, I've actually found a copy of Grand Theft Auto on the Advance, the Game Boy Advance, which I didn't think existed. Another game put a lot of time into this is Race Driver Grid. We've got a Logitech force feedback wheel, which was brilliant. It really is a good wheel. Famously, me making fun of Mrs. Bear trying to do the Le Mans on this one because she never get around it properly. But yeah, there's some fantastic tracks in that. And that wheel, I never saw the appeal of steering wheels, but my goodness me, that one was something else. It really was. Great game, that. Really, really good game. Thoroughly recommend that if you can try and pick it up. We've got some Guitar Hero ones, just up briefly. So there's Guitar Hero Aerosmith. I've got the guitar for that with the box, which is up in the other room. I'm no fan of Aerosmith, but this is my introduction to Guitar Hero, and I love it. Love Guitar Hero games, Rock Band games. Guitar Hero Metallica. Again, I don't buy these because of the bands. I tend to look down here, it says, well, over 20 guest acts. So I look down there and there's, the Foo Fighters and Queen and Motorhead, and that's probably the only reason I bought it. Thin Lizzy. It might just be because it was standalone because it was cheap as well, because the actual version with the guitar is quite a little bit pricey to get that one. But yeah, again, heavy metal's not really my cup of tea, but when in Rome we do it. Guitar Hero World Tour, and spent hours playing this. Again, you got Beastie Boys, Coldplay, The Doors, The Eagles, Fleetwood Mac, and you think, well, there's a real selection of stuff on there, and it's just great. Guitar Hero 3 Legends of Rock. Got very far into that. I think I actually got around to finishing it properly. But again, 70 rocking tracks on that one. Some of those actually would be cover versions, not the original license. I think it's after that game they started getting the licenses properly. Guitar Hero 5. 85 songs by 83 artists. The Killers, Megadeth, Nirvana, the Rolling Stones, Smashing Pumpkins, Stevie Wonder, Bob Dylan on there. Yeah, I mean, it was a case eventually sort of buying these games and end up just sort of going through them and just playing the tracks I wanted to play rather than play the game properly. That was a source of great enjoyment. You just come up here and just put a Guitar Hero or Rock Band game on and just pick out the tracks you wanted to play and just enjoy it rather than have to play games that you didn't want to. Harry Potter now, Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. Again, I am no Harry Potter fan at all, but I've got to be honest with you, I did quite enjoy playing Philosopher's Stone on the Game Boy Advance, and the Wii games aren't actually too bad. So if I don't like Harry Potter, the game's better than the films, and Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix as well. This one I think has the map. And again, this was another one I got. The reason I got this was again, in the 10p bucket, and there is the map, which has hardly been used. Just open that up. It's a very nice looking thing. This. Just open that up. But this has hardly been. I don't think it's been opened. To be fair. There we go. So yeah, that's nice to have that. Not overly keen on the game, but nice to have that. We're going to be. Oh yeah, one of the original early disasters, Haze. This was meant to be a first-person shooter, and at the time it got absolutely ripped to shreds when it came out for being terrible. I think over time it's got an appreciation when it's now moved up from terrible to abysmal. But not the game which it was brought. One of these games hyped up and hyped up and hyped up when it came out. It just wasn't there. And remember when like the plague, and then obviously it turned into a 50p game very quickly. Heavy Rain, which is one of these games I think like Beyond Two Souls, where you have to sort of it's an interactive game where you sort of move your controller or press the right button at the right time or something, I think, anyway. So some of those games are all right. Depends how immersive they are. Some aren't. But again, it's one of these things. I must get hold of that some one day and have it, and then maybe play it. Homefront. Don't know anything about that one other than the fact it's a game which is common as muck to pick up. It would be a surprise not to have it. From the writer of Red Dawn and Apocalypse Now. What, the film? Yes, the film. Yes, I don't know whether that's still alive. It's a 32-player multiplayer format. I'm not sure that's still alive. We've got Infamous. Again, not something... again, one of these ones I just picked up because it was cheap. And everybody was talking about it. Being a hero is optional. I think there's a second one of these. Kane and Lynch Dead Men. This is the series that got absolutely panned. When this game was the one. This was the one that came out first, wasn't it? And then I think there was another one which was absolutely slated. Again, overhyped. Really, really bad game when it came out. And then they brought a second game out because they already committed the second game. And the second game was pretty good, but by the time the horse bolted, and they never bothered with it. And then finally, another Mrs. Bear game, Killzone 2. Original Killzone came out on PlayStation 2. At the time, it didn't get particularly, again, hyped up beyond belief, and it didn't match the hype, so people tend to ignore it. But then the second one came out and was absolutely fantastic. And then there's a third one as well, I believe, which is the expensive one. Or as an expensive version of the third one, knocking around anyway. So there we go, that's PlayStation 3 Part 1 collection done. That's up to K. There might be some more Ks in the next one, and then we'll go through the rest of the next video. Let me know your memories of those. There's quite a few there to get through, sink your teeth into. How many of those you played, how many you enjoyed, etc, etc. Be great to hear your feedback on that as well. Are there any there that I haven't played, i.e. most of them, that you'd recommend that I should play? That'd be good. And then I'll stick them on a list which I'll never get to anyway. That's great. Yeah, let me know what you think. Thanks so much for watching. We'll be along with part 2 very, very shortly. But until then, this is the Retro Bear saying thanks for watching, and we'll see you again soon. Till then, bye bye.